Hi everyone, welcome to Painting with a Prayer. Thank you so much for joining me this week. There are a few things that you need. You are going to start out by needing some newspaper, some rocks, some paint brushes, preferably some of all sizes. You will also need a paper plate to put your paint on, a paper towel that you can wipe your paint on after using it, a can with clear water in it so you can wash your brushes, some paint of all colors, and it is also preferred to have some gloss varnish, but you can also use clear nail polish if this is something that you don't have. So we are going to start by painting rocks, and this is something that we did in our previous class last year, and it was one thing that people really enjoyed. So we're going to just start out with one of the larger brushes. We're going to grab some green paint and we're going to put that on the plate. Next, we're going to grab some dark green. If you don't have dark green, you can go ahead and just simply mix some of the light green paint with a little bit of black, and that will give you a dark green color. You'll also need a pink color. If you don't have pink, you can just mix red with white. You'll want to make sure you have a little bit more white than red, just so it becomes a light pink color. And you'll also want black. And you will also want a white color. So as you see, I just added a little bit to the plate. This should be all you need for this project. You don't want to waste any paint, so just probably a dime or a nickel size for each would probably work. You're going to start with this larger brush, and you're going to just kind of observe the rocks that you think would be best for these projects. You'll start with this one, which is probably just a medium size. You'll take your light green and coat it on both sides of your brush. And you can just go ahead and paint the entire surface of the rock. So as you can see, this leaves a thin coat of paint on the rock, and we'll go ahead and fix this problem by just giving it a few coats here after this dries a little bit. Just make sure you get each side of the rock to cover it with paint. You're going to probably do 2 or 3 coats of this paint. Coat number 2, we're going to put more paint on the brush and just start painting over that second coat. The first one should be dry a little bit by now, and so this will provide you with more of a layer that's more opaque. Just keep brushing it and coating this layer of paint on the rock. And you can see this is already helping with creating a layered process. And we'll probably just do a little bit more. Okay, that looks good. Now you're going to just go ahead and clean your brush out. One of the things that I really like about using a tin can is that you can put your brush against the ribbed edges, and this really helps clean the paint off fully. So then you can just use another paint color without getting any of the current paint color into that mixture. And then just go ahead and dry it on the paper towel, and you'll want to just dry this until you don't see any more paint color. Next, we're going to go in with some of the dark green color. We're going to change our paintbrush. You're going to want this paintbrush to be just a little bit thinner than the one before. With this, we're going to create the lines of the cactus. So just go from top to bottom and bottom to top. You can fix up any of these lines in the process, and you can just add more paint as needed, and you can just keep going over these lines to make sure that they're opaque enough. In reality, we would let the base color set a little bit longer, but just to get you guys through this video tutorial, you'll just go ahead and go right in, or if you do have the extra time, you can let it dry and just pause the video as needed and just catch up wherever you can. So we're just going to keep doing these lines on this rock, spaced apart just a little bit. And it's okay if these lines aren't perfect. That's kind of like what it would be like if you saw a normal cactus in real life. So just don't be a perfectionist with this part, because this is kind of what gives your rock a look of being more realistic. Alright, and now we're just going to finish the outer part, touch up any parts that we missed on the inside as well. Let that dry a little bit. Wash your paintbrush to get the green color off of there as well. And just dry your brush on your paper towel and make sure that it's clear. We're going to set this rock to the side a little bit. You can see that it's going to just start drying quite quickly. We're going to grab our second rock and we're going to get started on this one. You can kind of compare and see which ones might work better for you, and it turns out that this one will probably work best. You need pink, black, and white. You will also need a blue color. You can honestly choose any color of your choice for these, but just to follow what I'm going to come up with, you can use the colors I use, but you're more than welcome to choose whatever colors you desire. You need white. Add a little bit of white to that mixture to make a lighter blue. And we're going to go ahead with one of the medium-sized brushes here, and we'll go ahead and mix those together. We'll also get the yellow or orange or both. And again, you guys just need a little bit of these colors so we don't waste them. These should go a long way for these little rocks. I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing up the blue color. Alrighty, now you're ready to go in with this color. You're just going to start painting about 2/3 of the rock with this blue color from top to bottom. You can just keep going over any parts that you missed or that you want more of an opaque layer. Okay, that's looking good. We're going to clean out our brush now. Make sure you just dry it off, and then we're going to go in with a little bit of this white color. We're going to be trying to make a gray, so get white with a little bit of black and just mix that together. And this is going to be the part that forms our wheel on the van that we're creating, the little camper. Okay, that looks good. We're gonna get some of that on the paintbrush, and we're just going to start in by creating a circle on the left side. All right, perfect. We're going to clean our brush again and get that gray color off of there. Then we're going to take one of our smaller brushes, one that has a very fine tip. This will help you be more precise with where the paint's going. You're gonna go in with a black color, and this is going to be the outline of the wheel, as well as the base color for the bottom part of the camper. If you need to get a little bit less paint on the brush, you can just go ahead and turn your paint brush sideways and kind of roll it out on the paper plate. We're just going to outline this wheel now. Next, we're going to paint the bottom part with the black color. Wash out that brush and make sure that it's completely free of that and dry. And we're going to go back in with one of the larger paint brushes. about this size, and this is going to be better for the application of the black color. Just be very careful around that wheel. You want to make sure that you don't go inside where that gray color is. If you find that you're messing up a little bit, kind of like what I'm doing, you can go ahead and just fix that with more precise brush whenever we're done with this part here. It can be easy with wet paint to just kind of have those colors bleed together, but luckily you can always just go back in and fix it, like what I'm gonna do with this smaller brush. I'll take some black color and just go in and kind of perfect those edges. Go ahead and clean out your paintbrush. While that one's drying, we're gonna go back in on our cactus, and we are going to pick some of our different colors to make this start to stand out a little bit more. We're gonna go in with a small paintbrush, and we're going to go in with the black color. This part is when we're going to start drawing the parts of the spiky points on the cactus that will be needed for a more precise brush. So just go ahead and make sure a thin layer is on there. We'll start on the outer edge and just start outlining this. By adding the black lines, it's going to make it pop just a little bit more and adds more dimension to the rock. And again, this is one of those parts where you don't have to be very precise or accurate with a line being perfectly straight or being curved. You'll see in the end of this that it looks pretty great even if the lines are a little bit more shaky. And especially when you're one of those first time painters, it's not easy to, you know, do all of the processes as a professional painter would, and I am no professional. I've just taken so much time doing painting, and it's taken a long time to be someone that has a steady hand. So it's definitely not one of my strong suits, as you can see on the rock, but it ends up turning out pretty great in the end, so no worries. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to go in and start making the spiky points on the cactus. You just go in and make X's or you make dashes. You can choose one or the other. It doesn't have to be all X's or all dashes. It can just be a mixture of both. You can just spread these out however far apart you would like to. You can just flip it over to get a better angle on the other side. Perfect. All right, now that is completed for that portion of the rock, going to go in now. We're going to start creating the eyes. So you just make a circle with the black color, one on each side, pretty close together. This gives it a really cute look in the end. And then you're going to add the mouth, which is a cute little smile in the center. This is why a precise brush is definitely recommended for this part, because it's very thin and it's easy to control. I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit. Luckily, this paint dries pretty quickly, so that's one of the best things that I like about this paint. Wash off your paintbrush and dry it off on your paper towel. Next, we're going to go in with this cute pink color. We're going to add a little touch of a flower and some blush on the cheeks, because this is a bashful little cactus. And you're going to add 2 circles underneath the eyes, and that's going to be the cheeks. Then you'll go up towards the top right, and you'll make a flower. What you do for this part is you just add different oval shapes together, starting with the same center being the middle. As you can see, my paintbrush is kind of going in oval motions, like circular motions for an oval. And then they all meet at the center, which creates a flower. Okay, we're going to clean out our paintbrush one more time. We're going to begin with one of the colors that we decided we would like to be the center of the flower. We'll take a little bit of that paint, and all you have to do is pretty much dab it once and it'll create a perfect circle. You don't even have to move it in any motion. You'll dry off your paintbrush again. And let that dry just a little bit. We're gonna set that aside and go back to our other rock. For this next part, we're going to go in with the white color and a bigger paintbrush. We're going to create a stripe in the center of the camper. So just coat your paintbrush with some white paint on each side. And then we'll start painting in the center. You're gonna wanna leave a little bit of blue on the bottom and a pretty large amount of blue on the top. So you just start a little bit towards the black color and just try to have a little bit of a line there just to separate the two. And as you see, these rocks do have a little bit of blemishes, which is totally okay. They can be a little bit trickier to paint around. Something that you can do is, if you're comfortable with it, you can just, of course, pick up rocks outside of your house and paint those. Or if you prefer to have something that's a little bit more smooth, they have the river rocks. They're called Black River Rocks at Michael's on their website that you can just get shipped directly to your house. And those have a little bit more of a smooth surface, which creates an easier platform for you to paint on. Perfect. Now you got your line. You're going to clean your paintbrush again and just dry it off on the paper towel. And then you're going to go in with the smaller brush again. You're going to take a little bit of black. This is a portion where we're actually going to start being a little bit precise here. So we're going to create streaming banners at the top of this. So we're just going to create a half circle at an angle towards the top. And you're going to do the same on the other side. Dry off your paintbrush. Next, we're going to go in with some of these different colors to create the banner. These can be any colors of your choice. I just chose pink, orange, yellow, and I believe I also am going to choose green. Now you just create little triangles going off of that black line. And make sure you just clean your brush in between each color. Now you're going to go in with the black color and create the windows on each side of the camper. Okay, you're going to just clear out your paintbrush. Now we're going to take just a little bit of a bigger brush and go in with the pink color. This is going to be the door on the front of the camper. Start at where the black meets and just go up and create just half of an oval shape, just where the black meets on each side. You'll see this is a little bit more of a translucent color. However, we'll just go over this and we will add different layers to make this a little bit more opaque. Third layer, we'll go back in one more time. And this is already looking like a little bit better. It's already feeling a little bit more opaque, so we're good. You'll go back in with one of your smaller brushes, some more of the precision brush. We're going to just create a little bit of a frame within the window. Just like this. We'll add a little doorknob as well. Now we're going to go back in and add a circle to the middle of the wheel to give it a final touch. Perfect. And that is the finished product for the camper. We have just one more step with our little cactus. We're going to go in and give it the eye. It's basically the glimmer on the eye is what we're going to add to it. We're going to take our precision brush that is clean and add a little bit of the white paint to it. For this part, make sure your rock is completely dry. Now we're just going to add a circle. You can basically just touch the rock with this brush and just barely touch it for the second circle. And this just gives off a very cute vibe for the cactus. And that is the finished product for that. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for Painting with a Prayer. I really appreciate you all being here and having some fun with this interactive group. I'm just going to go ahead and finish us off in a prayer this evening. Dear God, thank you for bringing us together during this time of isolation. Though it has been hard, it is incredible knowing that we have a community of support that can make each of us stronger. Keep us grounded and guided by you each and every day, and please show us strength as we navigate through any hardships. Amen. Thank you guys so much again for being here, and have a great evening. Bye, everybody.